Yo, what's going on, guys? Today's video is just going to be a bunch of random PvP clips all put together, as I'm just making a video that takes a little bit more time, so I decided that I just wanted to put something out there for them now. Now, someone's asked me to play the Kaiwika before in the comments, and I look at all of them, I look at everything. You know, I read all this stuff for video ideas and stuff like that, and I did give Kaiwika a shot. I was working on it, but it's so painful and it's so hard to find kills. Not only that, everything can just run away from you on land other than a Kaiwika or a dolphin. So it just made it super hard to get kills as a Kaiwika. So you probably won't be seeing a Kaiwika video anytime soon until Ocean TLC comes out, or I don't know, something crazy has to come out into the ocean for me to play the Kaiwika, because just no one plays it and it's really hard, especially on official. So yeah, a lot of these clips are old, but the Kaiwika did get buffed in the recent update, but it just still isn't enough. It's just going to be really hard to do anything as it, just because everything can just run away from you. But yeah, same as here, this is the old Titan, the old Apexes, when they still had quite a lot of health and stuff, but just less turn radius. Anyway, hopefully in a couple of days I'll be able to release the video that I actually want to release, and one that, you know, isn't just a bunch of random stuff put together. But it's going to be top 5 best dual dinos is what it's going to be. I'm halfway done with it. It's not a very long video. It's just to do with editing and stuff. And sometimes when I want to get like dual gameplay or stuff like that, I kind of have to wait for someone to get on. I can't just do it myself. So it's not as easy for me to make a dual list as it is a solo list, just because just getting the footage is the problem. Honestly, that's the main thing. I'll also probably be making a 1v1 series where I play a specific dino and a 1v1 every single dinosaur with that dinosaur, and then I'll explain what to do, what not to do, how to play it, how not to play it, stuff like that. Now here you see a bunch of people at GP River, and that's what like GP is now, and it's just a bunch of random people all put together. It's not like a Discord group, it's just a natural formed Zerg of people. Now, not all of these guys are friends, and they can't communicate to each other if I'm killing one of them. So I just try and pick people off one by one when I get the chance. And I actually get the pick now. Now this is before the Cerato got nerfed, so you probably won't be seeing much of the Cerato anymore, as it just got nerfed and a few other things got buffed. So yeah, I like to play dinos that can still defend themselves. Obviously Cerato can still do that, but it's just not as good as it was. And when you are a solo player or you play in a small group, you're kind of forced to play these better dinos that take more skill to play as well. So yeah, so you just see a lot of Pycno gameplay, Kentro gameplay, a few other things. Another thing is I just don't like to play Apexes at this time, because obviously all the mega packs and stuff, it just makes it really hard, you know. Especially that you're in Apex, you can't catch a lot of things, so even when you do find a fight, you just might not be able to take it because there's too many of them, or it's just not a winnable fight. So yeah, that's kind of the problem is in Apex. Even as a duo, you still get mega packed, and if you're a solo, maybe if there's even a duo, as an Apex you can't win a 1v2 unless you play like maybe the Barsboria or you fight in the water. But even then, it's just really hard compared to smaller dinos. You know, Apexes are just missing out on that movement. For example, a Rex is never going to get behind another Rex unless you're just so bad at the game. So, whereas it's very common for Conkas or Killos to get behind each other easily, just because they're super fast with a great turn radius. So yeah, it just kind of takes more skill to play a smaller dino than it does a big Apex. Also, I like to point out that the Styrak did get buffed, but honestly it's like the Cerato is like the perfect counter to a Styrak, because unless you bleed the Styrak, it's kind of weak. So yeah, when you're fighting a Styrak, try not to bleed it. Once again, just a bunch of random people fighting. I hop on my Tyranitar and I just like pick people off, hoping that no one realises what's happening, and you know, I just get a kill here and there and just pretend like nothing happened at all. So yeah, honestly, with all the combat changes they are adding to the game, it's kind of hard to keep up with how good everything is. Before I had a really good idea of how good everything was because I played it all the time, but you know, they've just made a massive change where like 30 dinos got stat changes, and it's like, you know, I can see that stuff has been nerfed, but how impactful is that nerf, or how impactful is that buff? So yeah, I'm just gonna have to play a lot more again to just get a better understanding of everything. I've still got a really good understanding of where everything's place is at, but there might be a few underrated dinos right now, or maybe overrated dinos from the stat changes. So yeah, I'm gonna have to see. A lot of people are mad about the Hatsy changes because it's just not as strong anymore, especially for the barrage change, and it's just stamina's kind of not that good, especially its recovery. But honestly, I didn't really even play the hats for, you know, actually killing people, because I just did clamp with it. I thought that anything other than clamp was pretty boring to me, and there was way better options to do it with than playing a Hatsy. So yeah, I think clamp is still very usable, it just takes more skill now. I just haven't really played the hats since its update, so can't say too much about it, but I'm sure it's pretty much the same. It was just very small, slight changes, and for me it probably wouldn't affect much, as I am a clamp player. I don't really like to fight on land as the Hatsy, so yeah. You also need to understand why they're nerfing the Hatsy and stuff like that, and I'm going to try and explain why. You have to remember the only thing that can kill a Hatsy is pretty much just another Hatsy. It's really hard for a Thalassodromus to kill a Hats player. Not only that, it's even when you do kill that Hats player, it only takes them 2 minutes to get back to wherever they were, and they can just revenge kill you very, very easily. I think that's a big problem for Hatsies. So yeah, and the only way you would be able to really fix that is, you know, make them not that strong on the ground, and make them rely on clamp, or you make them have way less flight stamina, which I think would be a bad idea, honestly, as I'm a clamp player, so I'm obviously going to be biased about it. So yeah, you can see I actually caught this super resting, like I don't know what that guy was doing, half asleep on the wheel. So yeah, but you can see the Zelda's on me now, probably going to die here, nothing much you can really do. Also, the Tyranitar got nerfed, like, quite a bit. It's damage. They just... Which is, I didn't know if it needed a nerf after the Apex changes. I thought it was kind of fine. It was still, like, hard to fight as smaller dinos because of that juke. But I don't think you nerf its damage. I think you maybe should have nerfed its speed, or just increase the juke cooldown, which they have done now, but they've still taken away like 10 damage off of the Titan's bite and its heavy bite. So yeah, not too sure where I would rank the Titan now. Before I thought it was a really solid, really good dino, but the Akilo did get buffed by like 100 weight, so now you just can't get clamped by Hatsies, which is pretty cool, I guess. So yeah, now here me and my friend he was on his Titan. He was growing his Titan on Pandora. He's not a huge Pandora player, but he seen me on it, so he decided to give it a shot. I like to play both maps because it gets boring playing one map. But honestly, recently I've been spending a lot more time on Gondwa than I have on Pandora, just because the mega packs aren't as bad on Gondwa as they are on Pandora. Also, the Waystone change barely did anything, honestly. I know they're adding a matchmaking, which is pretty sick, but that's going to take a while to fully, you know, add in. So yeah, now you can see I'm actually pretty low from fighting these megs, but I kill that meg and my friend bites me because he's an ape. So yeah.